enjoying tea in vintage or teacupware is very cool right now. So I really wanted to invoke that today in my competition, not only because I love to host tea parties, but also because it's a definitely different way to drink cocktails.
As the song goes, everything old is new again. Bartender Tia Stonier creates the classic cocktail, a gin fizz, but she uses both modern technique and an old-fashioned presentation of a teacup as part of the cornucopia cocktail competition in Whistler.
Gin fizz, yeah, very old school. They usually, it's a little bit like a float as a child. I made it different by serving it in a teacup and also adding an infused gin, adding the bitters.
Professional BC bartenders were given 5 minutes to concoct a cocktail, showcasing locally produced potato gin from the Pemberton Distillery. Every drink poured back in history. Bartender Scott Curry traveled back in time to the days of when Shirley Temple was a child star, not a drink.
I called the drink Potato Revival. Basically, 2 reasons with the name. It's a take on a Corpse Reviver, which is a classic cocktail, the Corpse Reviver #2. It first appeared in Harry Craddock's Savoy Cocktail book from the 1930s.
Scott brings his classic into the 21st century with fresh lovage and herb native to Pemberton.
I always like to work as locally as possible. And then there's a little bit of star anise, and I added citrus zest as well to give it a bit more of a zip.
What we do is we are always trying to get old recipes and bring them forward, redevelop them.
Drawing on the past is a popular pastime for bartenders like 20-year veteran Dave Mott, who instead of traditionally emulsifying his egg by hand, shoots nitrate oxide into the egg for a solid foam, a modern technique and tool paired with a tried and true old school recipe.
They didn't have the same ingredients that we have now. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to find ways to reinterpret those old recipes using the plethora of new great products that we have. The availability of bitters and new digestives or aperitifs, liquors that you just couldn't get a hold of that have either come back in fashion or they've recreated.
Not only is the craft being reinvented, but the profession itself, from vest to hat.
It was traditionally a gentleman's cup, but it's more leading towards women as well. Like, we do really well in the kitchen, so we do really well as bartenders.
Shaking up the generation gap in more ways than one. From Whistler, I'm Nicole Fitzgerald for Shaw TV.